up playing whack-a-mole to deal with one crisis after another. I'm Rachel Papworth from Green and Tidy, the online professional organiser. I liberate busy people like you from the shackles of clutter and chaos for peace of mind and productivity. Because when your home works, your life works. And look, we all have some days like that. So do you remember I told you that I'd ordered that bulk bag of logs? Well, they arrived yesterday, and my clever plan to have them put in the front garden so that I could move them into the house at my leisure, and if I couldn't fit them all in the house, some of them could stay out the front there, etc., immediately completely collapsed, because what I hadn't taken into account is that my front garden isn't on the same level as the street, it's a little bit higher. And as the ever so pleasant delivery guy put it, I haven't got a crane, love. So I was like, oh, right, okay. So it had to take up a parking space, and parking is at a premium around here. So it's on the street. The one, it was out on the street, which just felt very insecure. And then also I didn't want to make myself unpopular with my neighbours by taking up a parking space. So I needed to unload it immediately instead of when it fitted with me to unload it. So I had to rejig my whole day. My entire day ended up an hour and a half behind, because that's how long it took me to do it. I did manage to do it. I am so stiff. All my arms are stiff, my legs are stiff, my back is stiff. I've got splinters in my hands, but I did manage to do it. But yes, so we're all going to have some days like that. The problem arises when every day is like that. If you are firefighting, playing whack-a-mole every single day, you're going to burn out. Plus, you're going to be cutting corners, which is going to store up problems for yourself in the future and ensure that you keep on playing whack-a-mole, because you've actually created another mole to pop up as fast as you're whacking down the others. So what do you do to get out of that? The trouble is, it can seem impossible to get out of that situation because you're so busy whacking the moles that you haven't got time to think about how to stop whacking the moles. There's a lovely quote, I'm going to read you a quote from Christopher Robin, Winnie the Pooh by A.O. Milne. So it's about Edward Bear. Here is Edward Bear coming downstairs now, bump, bump, bump on the back of his head behind Christopher Robin. It is, as far as he knows, the only way of coming downstairs. But sometimes he feels like there really is another way. If only he could stop bumping for a moment and think of it. Likewise, how can you stop playing whack-a-mole when you're too busy playing whack-a-mole to think about it? 5-point plan coming right up. And the first step is to notice that you're doing it. So admit to yourself that you are running around like a headless chicken, just about staying on top of things. The second step is to dig a little bit deeper and think about why you're doing it. So I don't mean I'm doing it because this stuff keeps coming at me. I'm doing it because if I don't do it, everything's going to fall apart. I mean, what am I secretly getting out of it? And I promise that you're secretly getting something out of it, even if it doesn't feel like it. I'm prepared to fess up here and say that when I do it, it's because I am secretly getting out of it, not having to do other things, not having to do other things that I don't want to do because I'm so busy, so I couldn't possibly, don't disturb me, I'm too busy doing this. That's what I'm getting out of it. Or you might be getting out of it convincing yourself that you are a productive superhero because you finish every day completely exhausted and you've got this and this done, which would have been a disaster if you hadn't got it done, and you've been running around all day, and so you must be amazing because you've achieved so much in the day. But what if you could have achieved all those things and more and remained calm and serene and in control and on top of everything? So that's step two. If I'm being honest, step two isn't absolutely essential. You can make this work without that step. But in my experience, taking the time to dig down and admit to yourself why you're doing it and why you're keeping this in place, when you do that, you are more likely to make this stick, in my experience. So step three, pick one thing, just one thing, that you are not going to be this way about anymore. So it might be something that you have to do all the time, like managing food and meals, or it might be a work project, or it might be a home improvement project. Just pick one thing, just one thing. Step four, give this video a thumbs up. No, that's not really step four, obviously, but I would really appreciate it if you would. What step four really is plan. Take some time, put some time aside every single week, put half an hour aside every single week to plan what you're going to do that week, not forgetting to build in some contingency time so that if things don't work out quite the way you expect, you've got a little bit of flexibility. And while you're planning that, don't just plan the week, plan everything that you need to do to stay on top of that one area of your life that you've thought about, that you've chosen. Now, if it's a project with a fixed end point, so say it's a home improvement project, work backwards. So, when are you going to finish the project, and what needs to have happened by then? And then what do you need to do before then to make sure that happens? And so work backwards, making sure that every step is in place to get you to that goal at the end. If it's an ongoing task, so I don't know, say it's making the kids' lunches, think about what you're going to do to make sure that just that one thing gets achieved calmly and serenely, completely on top of it, never gets missed. Doesn't matter if everything else is chaos around it, but that one thing is going to get achieved. Think through what you need to do to make that happen and make that part of your planning. Okay, and then step 5, final step, when you're ready, when you are 100% confident that you're on top of that one thing that you chose, and look, there might be some missteps on the way. You might have a day when it all goes wrong again and you don't manage to be on top of that one thing that you said you'd be on top of. Don't panic, take a look, see what went wrong, work out how you can do it differently, keep going until you are on top of that thing. And when you reach that point, step 5 is to expand. So now choose another area of your life to add into that, and then a third thing, and then a fourth thing, until you're managing your whole life that way. Like I say, there's always going to be some days when things go a bit nuts, but basically you're in control and you're serene and you're calm and you're getting everything done, and you believe in yourself as someone who can get everything done, and you're not firefighting and panicking all the time. All right, over to you. Do you hear yourself in that? Are you firefighting? Are you playing whack-a-mole? Do you recognize what I'm describing? If so, are you prepared to fess up what you might be getting out of it? And what one area of your life are you going to get on top of? Let me know in the comments. Look forward to hearing from you. I reply to all comments personally. So if you comment, I will answer you right back. Feel free to ask questions, and I'll see you in the next YouTube live. Bye for now.